by CEOs in this country. We need to go back to the exact same agenda,
What we're going to focus on is not returning to the failed Bush policies that brought us to this point, but focus on the efforts that we have made, which are making progress. We haven't succeeded yet, but we are making substantial progress. The economy is growing. We are creating jobs. And very frankly, we think that when Americans assess, do we want to go back? Do we want to, in fact, repeal the success?
The budget. We should live within our own means, and we should read the bills and work with the American people.
How do you do it? Tell me how you do it. Name a painful choice that Republicans are prepared to say we have to make.
Well, first of all, we need to make sure that as we look at all that we are spending in Washington, D.C., with not only the entitlement spending, but also the bigger government we cannot afford anymore. We have to empower the free enterprise system. See, this is where...
Congressman, these are not specifics.
Oh, they are.
Voters get tired of that. You want to deal with entitlement spending. Will you raise the retirement age on Social Security? Will you cut benefits of Social Security?
Let's go.
Will you repeal health care? I'm sorry, I'm not hearing an answer here on specific, what painful choices to really deal with the deficit. Is Social Security on the table? What will Republicans do that would give them, like 94, there was a contract with America. What are voters going to say, hey, this is what Republicans will say yes to?
Well, the president has a debt commission that reports December the 1st, and I think we'd all like to see what they come back with.
But wait a minute, conservatives need a Democratic president's debt commission to figure out what it is they'd want to cut?
I mean, you heard at the very beginning of the answer to your question a defense of the George Bush economy and the George Bush years. And I don't think the American people see it that way, because they know we had a meltdown in the financial sector. They know we lost jobs. And so when they hear the Republican leader John Boehner say he wants to repeal the Wall Street Reform Bill, which is an effort to make sure that the American people and the whole economy not again held hostage by bad bets on Wall Street, they recognize that they do in fact want to go back to those policies. They have Joe Barton, the head of their energy committee, who would be the head of the Energy Committee, apologizing to BP. It's a big oil agenda. They've got the folks who oppose the legislation to try and remove the tax loopholes that help export U.S. jobs overseas. We want to shut those loopholes. They hear all this, and they see that what they're going to get if you had Republicans in charge is that economic agenda, and they can't answer that basic question. What are you going to get that's different?
So we think that when the real polls are taken, people look at these and say, do I want to return to the Bush policies, which created the worst economy we've seen in 3/4 of a century, a time when it was said by economists, if you pursue those policies, worse depression could happen? Or are they going to say, yes, we're angry, yes, we're fearful, this economy is not doing what it ought to be doing? We agree with that.
We are very poised in carrying out our campaigns this year. We believe that we are going to have a very strong showing at the polls come November. And I would say to the American people, and especially my friends on the other side of the aisle, I heard the same thing in Pennsylvania 12 about how much they were going to win. In fact, they were all prepared to go out and have this big announcement of winning 100 seats. What happened? the Democrat won by 8 points. Now, that is what I call a strong showing. That's what's going to happen as we go into these elections. This is a tough climate, but we are tough campaigners, and we are tough people, and we are going to take our contrast and comparisons to the American people, and I'm very comfortable with the choice.